Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, TGI Friday. We used to say back in the day. Um, thank God it's Friday. Checking on X right now, make sure people can hear me. Hey, good morning, everyone. Yep, there it is, man. I don't want to hear my own voice. That's horrible. Okay, putting a little GM in the chat for good morning. Make sure we're working. But happy Friday, everybody. A lot of times Fridays can be boring. That's not actually the chart I was looking for. Little grid bots going on there. Yeah, so we're looking here at good day on Friday. Obviously everything's kind of going around the war and stuff like that. We all know that's kind of what everything hinges on, but some good news out today as well. So kind of excited. We don't always have Fridays can be low volume, can be more volatile, but good. Also a lot of good news. So we'll get on it. But NASDAQ right now up 1.1%, even higher than the futures were pointing. The Dow Jones up 1.02%, and the S&P up 0.63, all based on some new progress in the peace talks and whatnot. Let's look over at crypto, man. Crypto's having a heck of a morning, even though we're down, I think, off the peaks. Look here, we got Bitcoin 76,548. I've been trying to pray that we'd stay above that 74,000, which was last year's low, right? And serious, it caused a lot of overhead resistance and whatnot. So anyway, Bitcoin 76,548, up 2.8% for the day. Excuse me, 2.5. If we look at the hourly chart right here, you see we pumped all the way up to 76,962, almost touched 77. Had a little bit of a pullback down to 76. Now we're in solid, man. But yeah, looking good on the daily, looking really good. Ethereum, I'll take 3% for Bitcoin for a day. Ethereum, 2,410. Now was Bitcoin, hold on, let me make sure. No, Bitcoin, sorry, 2.5. I'd already clicked on Ethereum. 2,410. It's up 3% for the day. XRP, $1.47.8, up 3.1%. And Solana, 89.42, up massive 4.2. So we're looking good. But both on I would say both on some better news out of the Middle East. Also, we're going to talk about that. Also, just technically, we're holding and we're closing above some support levels and stuff. That already helps. And some good news as well. So let's get into it. Take a look at what's happening. And welcome again to Opening Bell Crypto. We're here Monday through Friday. When the days the market's open, we're here. So thanks for joining us. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube or X, even potentially Rumble. Also, we're saving it to our podcast as well, which, of course, unfortunately isn't live. I don't know how long. I'm not that familiar, so I don't know how long it's taking to load up. But welcome if you're joining us on one of the podcasts. As soon as the show's over, I upload it, so it's not live on the podcast, but it's as soon as I'm done, I load it up. But anyway, so back channels between U.S. and Iran are showing real progress. A memorandum of understanding could be signed in the next meeting. The broader deal potentially locked in. And the rumor now is they're going to meet on Friday. So we have a few different news about that, as well as mixed in with some crypto news, what we really care about. Morgan Stanley, $10 trillion Morgan Stanley came out and they said only 1 in 5 of their clients holds crypto. Keep in mind, they've got 16,000 financial advisors. Now, even for those 1 in 5 that is holding it, what I keep saying is they're going to probably start out with a small allocation, 1% or something like that. But over time, that will grow. Earlier in the week, a report, I can't remember if it was Fidelity or Vanguard, one of them was suggesting for their extremely aggressive portfolios an 8.8% allocation. And we saw Bank of America a couple months ago talk about a 4% But I think over time, those could get into the mid-teens, even into the 20%, depending on as it gets more adoption, it shows stability, all those kind of things. Price go up, all that stuff. So, yeah, I think that's a great news. This is who is going to convince your mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, your crazy uncle, whatever, to buy Bitcoin. They're not going to listen to me. They're not going to listen to you. But they're going to listen to their financial advisor. Of course, we know at that point, by the time the 16,000 financial advisors first have to learn about it themselves. But anyway, we're early. That's the point. Oh, crap. Some of my windows. I get so many windows open that some of them have to refresh. So let me get working on that. Sorry about that. Get a faster laptop, to be honest with you. Not all the windows, but yeah, sometimes when it sits, they tend, especially this computer. So yeah, it just keeps going. So we'll get back to this one. I've got my notes here either way. Well, we'll see or not. What I believe it is Payward, which is the parent company of Kraken FX, has agreed to acquire BitNominal for $550 million in a cash. Sorry, I've got to get all these windows open. Maybe they'll open, maybe they won't. Apologize. Probably, like I say, probably just need a laptop with more RAM. But at any rate, we'll see if that refreshes or not. But Payward, which is the parent company of Kraken FX, they've agreed to buy BitNominal for $550 million in cash and stock deal. And for that, Kraken was at their value billion, which is kind of now we know that they pushed off their IPO or I can't remember what the term is. Oh yeah, IPO, initial public offering. We have so many terms over here on the crypto side, but anyway, they pushed off their IPO, and we saw yesterday that a European bank was investing in them. I believe at a little lower valuation, but they were giving them some cash. I think 200 million was the reported number, and now they're going in to kind of build up their portfolio and acquire this BitNominal. So spending 500 million in cash. That's probably why they did the deal. The Europeans that have more cash on hand. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if my laptop's gonna work here or not, to be honest with you. I'll hit on the next thing. I'll just talk about it. Maybe we won't have any graphics here. We'll see. Sometimes even when we reload it, it doesn't reload it right to where I is. Anyway, this what is supposed to be is there's some rumors by Gulf officials that and big news all over actually this morning that Trump's talking about. Yeah, here it is. Trump says Gulf official says Trump may offer a new concession in Iran talks, stressing U.S. president is serious and aiming for a deal to resolve tensions. And what they're saying is potentially they're going to release up to $20 billion in cash, frozen cash for the uranium. So a lot of over the years, billions and billions were locked up throughout the different countries and especially U.S. banking. Put pressure on everyone to lock up their money. This window, if it pops up, what it was Saylor talking about strategy. Now that we're up at this higher price, they're finally in the money. They're finally in the green, even though they realize they started buying it. They started buying under $10,000, but they bought all the way up. They buy, it seems like, no matter what. So they were their cost basis as of their last buy was 75,577, and that puts them in the now that we're over 76, it puts them in the positive for the first time in a long time. So one point they were 10 billion plus upside down. So Like I say, laptop does not pulling my slides up very good. I could go and do it in like a presentation, and actually just have the slides themselves. I just kind of do them online here. But anyway, the next news thing, if it pulls up here or not, was that Singapore's Gulf Bank launches a 1-to-1 dollar to USDC mint redeem on Solana. So basically, this gives them a 24/7 real-time settlement with zero transaction fees. So that's pretty good. That's the future, right? That's what eventually everyone's going to do. See if it pops up or not. Like I say, sometimes when it pulls up, it's not even going to be on the right page that I was on. But yep, there it is. Singapore Gulf Bank launches 1-to-1 USD to USDC mint redeem on Solana. Instant fiat to crypto conversion directly from the bank accounts. 24/7 real-time settlement, zero transaction fee, redefining global cross-border payments for the online. Cross-border payments, close to $1 trillion, about 940 billion, grows about 4% a year. I know that because, of course, with CoinZoom, that's what we're targeting with our Zoom Me feature, the ability to do cross-border payments for free. So, yeah, so that's big news. That's the future of where everyone's going. By the way, everyone's heading in that direction. This slide, if it pulls up or not, was just talking about now they're saying this weekend. We'll jump to the next slide. Apologize for the lack of good visuals here, but sometimes it does this, and then not sure why. Probably my laptop more than anything. Just so many windows open. At any rate, yeah, we're looking at potentially doing it. J.P. Morgan. They're saying again that the Clarity Act is very close to the finish line. We talked about this yesterday. The reason I like this is it's very bullish when the banks are saying it's close, because the banks are the ones that have been getting in the way of the whole thing. I'll jump on once again. Have to use your imagination here, but EU, the EU, and I just saw this reported in one place. I don't know here, but the word on the street is the EU has a coalition of 40 countries preparing plans to reopen the straits, including warships and mine clearing support. So I haven't heard much about this. If necessary, I know behind the scenes, Trump's putting an amazing amount of pressure on NATO and the EU countries, and we saw that Europe's literally 6 weeks away or whatever of running out of jet fuel. So obviously they're going to have to step up just out of their own self-interest, if nothing else. So we'll move on. Yeah, this was the article, if it pops up, that the U.S. is considering a $20 billion cash for uranium deal per Axos. And that's just basically would be releasing funds that have been held for years. Pops up because this was kind of cool. Morgan Stanley, they just there it is. It's cool. Morgan Stanley rings the closing bell at the New York Stock Exchange last night. Celebrate the launch of the MSBT, the first spot Bitcoin ETF issued by a major bank. We talked about how massive that is, really how just absolutely huge it is, and they brought in 100 million. So that's why there's never been a better time, risk reward, in my opinion, to buy Bitcoin. A U.S. major bank doing it and closing the bell, that gets a lot of people's attention, right? An event like that. $9 trillion, Charles Schwab is already trading Bitcoin and Ethereum internally. Employees are using it first. Clients get access in weeks. So once again, another massive global TradFi company who we knew was going to get into this, and now they're doing it. Even then, it'll take time for their internal people to really understand it and to start pitching it to their clients. But that is the marketing. That is the marketing team. And this, these companies, trillions and trillions of dollars. We'll see if this pulls up or not. When it's black, it tells me it's coming a little slower. But this was just a graph that showed Bitcoin miners, public Bitcoin miners, sold a record 32,000 Bitcoin in Q1 of 2026. But what you have to realize is these guys have fixed costs, like variable costs, electricity, cooling, the miners themselves, employees, rent, all that stuff. So they're in a real predicament when Bitcoin is trading well below the price that it costs to produce it, right? So they're losing money as it is, and they're not as bullish on holding it. But I would say, look at what Bitcoin's doing, even with this historic selling pressure from the miners. Yesterday was Bitcoin's first daily close above its 100 moving average since October 2025, 9th. So the day before that big crash. So in 183 days, it was the highest daily close we had. So that all technically all that stuff's pretty darn bullish. This I thought was massive news. It didn't pull up. Let's see if we can find it here. Okay, I don't know. This is my favorite. One of good friends with Crypto News Hunters. I like their stuff. Just showing oil's dropping down to $80 now. But the one I wanted to see, and I don't know if we'll find it or not. Trump coming out and said we're the hottest country in the world right now. We're dead under Biden. True. Dang it, where's this article? Some of the articles we already talked about. Gosh dang it. It was a great article. It showed that a new deal that I know this. Oh, here it is. Gosh dang. Sorry about that. It was late last night, early in the morning, your time, our time here in the U.S. But MasterCard. Let me go back and read it again, and then I'll click on it. But MasterCard teams up with Lobster Cash and CrossMint to let AI agents pay for you. Now users can authorize AI to transact securely using existing cards. The future of autonomous payments is here. I mean, that's massive when you think about it. AI agents are going to do anything. A little scary too at first, but look, it's going to be so much more efficient when you say, hey, pay my electric bill. Buy me 100 shares of XRP at the cheapest you can, or in my Coinbase or my CoinZoom wallet or whatever. I mean, that's why the adoption curve is going to be so steep, because your mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, they're not going to have to learn to do crypto and all the nuances you get. They'll just have their AI agents do everything. So I thought that was massive. Yeah, this probably isn't going to pull up in time before we end, but Mitsu, they bring their tokenized gold. They're a regulated metals ETF in Japan. They're going to bring. They're going to tokenize. They're going to bring their tokenized gold to Optimism OP, which is a layer 2 on Ethereum. So that's not going to probably pull up in time. Also, here we have, but anyway, that was big. The tokenization RWA is real. Flow Capital to tokenize $150 million private credit fund on the blockchain per Bloomberg. Last but not least, I just want to take a look at the fear and greed. Even with the price appreciation, we're still sitting in extreme fear. It may or may not pull up in time, but that's 20. We're still at 21, so not as good as we were yesterday, but I think the new price action may help that. Last but not least, let's just go over and let's check on if this will pull up. Just check on Bitcoin and stuff. All in all, a pretty damn bullish day, to be honest with you. I'm super stoked on a Friday. We can do this. See if this will refresh so we can get the quickest. Bitcoin 77,331. 77, man. We broke 77. Look at this on the hourly since we've been talking, from 76 all the way up to 77. So, yeah, kicking butt, 4.9% for the day. We'll leave it at that, man, but everything's rocking. Solana 90.08, XRP $1.48.7, Ethereum 24.36, 77. Yeah, we got to celebrate about that, man. Have a great Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again Monday morning, opening bell.